Well, I try to stay humble, and it's not all that difficult because I have a lot to be humble about, and also the practice of journalism is a humiliating practice, a humbling practice. I wouldn't say humiliating, but a humbling practice. So I try not to think in terms of, pride in story. I can say when I first came to work at CBS News in late 1961, going into 1962, that my first real assignment, big assignment, was to cover the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and the then burgeoning civil rights movement.
Governor Wallace is now walking away from the door, apparently capitulating now in his battle against the United States government to prevent two Negro students from entering the previously all-white University of Alabama.
That changed me as a person and changed me as a pro, and it's one that stands out in my memory.
We just have a report from our correspondent Dan Rather in Dallas that he has confirmed that President Kennedy is dead.
Of course, the 4 dark days in Dallas when President Kennedy was assassinated, and then, exclamation point, his assassin was assassinated. You couldn't go through those days in Dallas, as I did, heading our coverage, CBS coverage at the time, and not have it make a lasting impact on you. I was honored, and I use the word measuredly, I was honored to cover American fighting men in the green jungle hell that was Vietnam. Something else that changed me as a person and as a pro.
The Vietcong has opened fire on the convoy. We're now firing back and have asked for air support.
Could you tell us what's happening here? Fill us in on what the situation is.
You couldn't do it for almost a year straight through, as I did during my first tour in Vietnam, and come out the same person. The list is fairly long. Going through Watergate, I was the White House correspondent at that time. I remember so well, frankly, when it first started, I was hoping against hope that it wouldn't reach the presidency at all. As you remember, it started with the President's Re-elect Committee. Then when it reached the White House, I found myself hoping against hope it wouldn't reach the President's inner circle. And when it did that, then I was hoping against hope that it wouldn't reach the presidency. Surely no president would be involved in these widespread criminal acts in this conspiracy. It made an indelible imprint on me. In 1980, just after the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, when we walked into Afghanistan and walked out, a story that I knew would be dangerous. And then there was 9/11. Not because it's more recent than some of the others, but because it was so close to home. It was such a hammer to the heart. On any list of stories that I can't say I'm proud I was associated with, but as a reporter, if there's a big story, your prayer is always, God, give me the big story. Being greedy as reporters, always a prayer behind that, and God, if you give me the big story, let me be on the big story. Then let me be at or near my best on the big story. That has rarely, if ever, happened, the second part of that. But this is a fairly short list of stories that have left a lasting impact on me and changed me.